We've all seen these videos pop up. The evolution of a compilation of every boss battle, compilations of all the cutscenes in HD, a non-commentary walkthrough / gameplay, and the likes. Most people may take a look at these kinds of channels, see them as kind of boring and lazy content even, and move on with their life. And I can understand why some people make that judgment, but that's simply not true. Game compilation channels are incredibly smart, efficient, and sometimes quite creative. While I wouldn't personally want to watch this type of content every day, there is something really novel about seeing, say, an evolution of every Rainbow Road track. It can be kinda cool to see how certain parts of a franchise evolve and improve over time. And you know, sometimes I'm stuck on a boss fight and just need a video to show me how it's done. And these compilations serve that purpose perfectly. As someone that's grown a strange obsession with how these channels work, I've gone out of my way to interview a few of the biggest compilation channels. So big thanks to Master of Hyrule, YT Sunny, Typhlosion for President, and Nintendo Central for making this video possible and giving me some insight on this style of content. To save my breath and time, we're just gonna call compilation channels comp channels for the rest of the video. So all comp channels make very similar types of videos, but they also don't at the same time. Like I said earlier, most of them have the non-commentated walkthroughs, evolution videos, boss comps, etc., but there's plenty of ways to break through and gain an audience. We'll get to how in a minute. As I'm sure most of you know, it's incredibly hard to start up a YouTube channel and stand out above the others. Sunny said that even if you were to have uploaded 1,000 videos, you still may not pick up traction, which is definitely true. Speaking from my own end, I started to take YouTube seriously in 2012 and it took quite a few years to reach 100,000 subscribers, and honestly, I still feel like I got kind of lucky. All in all, it's up to the algorithm and what it decides to promote. And as YouTube themselves have said, the algorithm has a mind of its own and changes all the time. It's like trying to find your way through a maze, but it keeps moving the exit door, making it harder and harder to escape. But as most successful people say, you make your own luck. Because all it takes is one video. Just one video to go viral and get shoved into recommended. That's all these channels need to get going. And the beautiful thing about it is one viral video will bring in more views on all of the other content because it's made in a way that's easy to binge. So say, if one evolution video does well, and that channel has 20 more like it, a lot of people will go check out the rest. This is a well-known strategy for all types of content on YouTube, of course. I do it myself with the triggered and mind-blowing videos, but it especially works with game comp channels. Let's look at Prosofia Gaming's channel as an example. He has a video on all the characters in Mario Power Tennis and Mario Party 8. Now you might be thinking, well, that's really random. Why would he upload those? Simple. Mario Tennis Aces came out a month later, which would naturally generate traffic for that new game, but also back to the older Mario Tennis video. The same concept applies to Mario Party 8, seeing as Super Mario Party just came out. I mean, come on, you have to admit that this is brilliant and it just makes total sense. Now imagine using this tactic for multiple game franchises and what that could build up to. Using Prosofia Gaming again as an example, he's been putting up videos about Crash Bandicoot using the same methods discussed above. Plenty of other game comp channels do stuff like this as well. Now what does all this have to do with starting up a gameplay comp channel? It goes to show that if you plan ahead and have a bit of luck, you have a chance to make a channel like this work. Now, that's not to say it's as easy as it sounds, because there's a million hurdles you have to jump over first. And the first jump is starting your channel 10 years ago. Yeah, most of the big comp channels already have a head start from several years of doing this, and you can't really do anything about that. But what else would you have to deal with? It's well known in the gaming community that Nintendo is very iffy with people uploading their IP on YouTube. This is the real first big hurdle. And keep in mind, this is Nintendo of Japan specifically, not usually Nintendo of America. A lot of these comp channels upload mostly Nintendo stuff, and you might think that they spend hours upon hours dealing with content claims since most of their footage is raw without additional commentary. But surprisingly, no, they don't get hit with claims. Everyone I interviewed said this doesn't happen because they have a managed status with an MCN, or multi-channel network. That's actually what I have myself, and why almost nothing on my end gets claimed by Nintendo too. It's essentially protection from auto claims, so it allows these channels to thrive. Well, for the most part. Master of Hyrule said that music is what gets copyright claimed the most when it does happen, which makes sense considering it's easy for YouTube's copyright system to pick up on that. That's why you rarely see claims on gameplay, because most of the time it's unique and different compared to everyone else's. YT Sunny said that in the past, a lot of his videos got claimed before having an MCN, but he also knows that a lot of Pack Attack's LEGO videos, another giant comp channel, gets claims by Warner Bros. So getting that managed status is pretty important, but not a 100% guarantee your videos will be safe. And now for the second and most challenging hurdle, making your channel stand out. After analyzing the backlog of several successful comp channels, I found that all of them have their own niche. And trust me, you need to find your niche of some sort or you'll be stranded in this very oversaturated market. So let's go through these and see what people have come up with. YT Sunny seems to focus a lot on full walkthroughs, usually of new games. I've also noticed a focus on character animations, which is really interesting because that garners attention from two genres on YouTube. The first obviously being on the game itself, but the word animation has been trendy with the rise of animators over the past couple years, and the fact that people really like watching cartoon animations. Now, I don't know for certain if he's actually drawing an audience from the animations, but it's definitely possible. Master of Hyrule has a huge focus on Smash Bros. He told me that's how he got started and has continued to put out Smash content. He does a lot of evolution type of Smash videos and compilations, but he's come up with some pretty crazy stuff, most notably getting every Smash Bros character to do the Fortnite dance. Now, Nintendo Central is interesting because it got an initial boost from Sully Pones, who of course owns both channels. So he was able to get a head start compared to most of these guys, and focuses a lot on evolution videos and Mario Party minigames. He mostly does Mario content, but found a unique thumbnail style with Pokemon evolution videos. He did say he was inspired by Prosophiya and T for P's evolution videos, so it makes sense why his videos have a similar style. Typhlosion for President focuses a lot on new Super Mario Bros. Videos and Mario Party minigames, particularly Mario Party 9. Now, Mario Party 9 is a very mysterious game that we need to talk about. For whatever reason, YouTube just loves to promote it. I asked all these channels why that might be, and they came back with nothing. They don't have a clue, and they just know that it works. Now, here's a fun fact so you'll understand what I mean. The most watched Nintendo video actually isn't from Nintendo themselves, but from another Nintendo comp channel called Nintendo Movies. And it's simply a compilation of every Mario Party 9 minigame, but it's brought in over 100 million views. That is genuinely insane for something Nintendo related. In fact, most of these channels already have Mario Party 9 videos that have raked in millions upon millions of views. And again, nobody knows why it does so well. Now, I could go on for a long time about these channels, but we'll quick go over one more. Sirloin is also interesting because he doesn't just do new Super Mario Bros. Stuff, but a ton of modded videos. Like, look at this. He imported characters like Baldi, Bowsette, Bendy, Logan Paul, and the Joker over the final Bowser in new Super Mario Bros. Wii. So I think you get the point. These guys have all found different ways to stand out, but how do you initially promote the video? It is all about the thumbnails. You learn how to make these and you're good to go. Comp channels have found a large variety of styles, and I want to show you why they work so well. Now, we have to start with the infamous 5-block style, where you basically got 4 squares and a circle in the middle. Some people also use diamonds or squares for the middle, but the concept is the same. The origin of this thumbnail is very hard to track. From the interviews, I heard most say Prosophiya Gaming popularized the style, but was likely born from a channel called Nintendo. So I went to this channel and found what could be the original 5-block thumbnail. SpongeBob, Hero Pants, all characters. Yes, I know this is 6 blocks and not 5, but it's the same concept and that's what really matters. This came out February 18th, 2015, and it seemed to work for him, because that's a lot of views. But what really makes them work? Inside the circles are screen caps from the game, usually depicting interesting or shocking faces. Now, obviously, exaggerated faces are already a common trend on YouTube, of course, But what makes this style so great is that the thumbnails are simple and easy to understand. You look at it and instantly know what the video is. And with YouTube being so competitive, you're gonna need a thumbnail that pops. What's cool about this style is you can use more than 1 or 2 characters without making the thumbnail look cluttered. You have the option for 5. And this can all be conveyed without text too, so there's no language barrier of any kind. And on top of that, they take very little effort to make, but are just as effective as people that pour hours upon hours of time into one thumbnail. There's also the vertical block thumbnails, where you grab a bunch of screen caps and kind of line them up next to each other. This style works really well with evolution videos because the image conveys progress, making it more intriguing to watch that progress within the video. And then sometimes the thumbnail is as basic as a zoomed up image from the game. For some reason, this works really well with new Super Mario Bros. Games when playing in co-op mode. What you'll generally see is one big character and then 1 or 2 small characters. This is a peculiar method because your eyes are drawn to the big thing, but also focus on the small thing, which takes more effort, and then you're wondering, well, why is the size proportion so weird? And look at that! It captured your attention for more than a fraction of a second. The psychology behind these thumbnails are something you probably wouldn't ever think about, and that's why they work so well. It's kind of the same idea as using arrows or circles in thumbnails, except they're invisible in a sense. And of course, there's the all character and all power-ups videos, which basically just shows gameplay of either all the characters in a game or all the power-ups. The oldest one of these I could find came from Pack Attack's channel. It was about LEGO Marvel superheroes showing all the characters, dated back to October 30th, 2013. There's a few different thumbnail styles for these. One of them is showing the character select screen as zoomed in as possible, and then there's new Super Mario Bros. It kind of has its own category. There's so many thumbnails where you just see multiple versions of Mario or some other character showing how they look with the power-ups on, and these videos perform incredibly well. These are definitely the most perplexing to understand though. The thumbnails look pretty messy, but I guess at the same time it conveys a lot of visually interesting information leading to clicks. And that's a basic rundown of gameplay compilation thumbnails. Now there's more styles out there for sure that I could go over, but it would add a few hours to this video. But this is the basics. Believe it or not, running any successful YouTube channel is a lot of work. There's still people out there that believe being a YouTuber is an easy job that takes no skill or effort, but that's just not true, even for these gameplay channels. Everyone I interviewed told me how many hours they put in every day, and most of them said anywhere from 6 to 12 hours, depending on if there's new games out or not. And this is every day. Like 7 days a week. Very rarely do us content creators take breaks or have days off. We're constantly on the grind putting out content to keep up with the algorithm. And sure, you could say, oh, you're just playing a video game, that's real easy. Which, okay, that might be true sometimes, but even that can be a lot of effort too. I was told that the final boss compilations and evolution videos can take an especially long time because of how much footage they have to collect. And they get the footage themselves, by the way. There's a reason most of these channels have watermarks. It's so they can't steal from each other. So if they need footage from some long RPG, they gotta play through that just to get a specific clip for whatever compilation they're making. And besides, playing video games constantly can kind of ruin the experience over time. Personally, about 95% of the games that I play is for work and work only, and I'm sure it's the same for these guys too. And when all you do is play video games for videos, it becomes more feeling like a job and something you have to do than something for fun. I'm not saying that affects everyone and we're always like this, but it has definitely left an impact on content creators. I did also ask these guys if they thought they could take a break from uploading, and they all said yes they could, but don't want to. And let me tell you this, it's this kind of work ethic that leads to their success on this platform, but at the same time it can be very draining, constantly being on the edge to get videos out. Now, I'm really blown away by how consistently these channels upload, so I asked them if they had any employees or any sort of help. And to my surprise, most of these guys are on their own. Now, Master of Hyrule and Nintendo Central said their siblings sometimes help, but for the most part, it's one person doing all the work. A pretty smart strategy these guys use is to basically record everything they do all the time. Recording entire games can allow for a lot of types of videos to be made. Of course, you could upload a 100% playthrough completely raw, or you could split that into parts, or you could grab all the boss clips and turn that into a compilation. I mean, really, there's a lot of options. YT Sunny told me that he actually still has some videos recorded in 2017 that'll eventually be uploaded, and Nintendo Central has videos on backlog too. Not every channel does this. Some of them will record and upload on the same day, and some of them have that backlog. Ah yes, the new trendy games. This is the best way to start up a channel, especially a game comp one. When a new Nintendo game comes out, you can expect a lot of these channels to upload videos about it, and sometimes before the game even comes out. And to my surprise, most of these channels are not in the Nintendo Brand Ambassador program, meaning they don't get the games early from Nintendo. I do want to clarify two terms real quick that people seem to get confused over: the Nintendo Creators Program and the Nintendo Brand Ambassador Program. The Creators Program is an MCN established by Nintendo that allows you to publish videos of their games, but unfortunately they offer horrible splits of revenue and most people don't deem it worth joining. Then there's the Nintendo Brand Ambassador Program, which, like I said, gives you access to some Nintendo games early and you're sometimes invited to exclusive events. So since we know these comp channels aren't in the Brand Ambassador Program, how the heck do they upload gameplay of new Nintendo games early? I'm not going to drop any names for everyone's protection here, but there are certain local game stores around the country that actually allow you to get new games early and sell them before the street date. That honestly blows my mind. I had no idea stores actually did that. That's why you'll sometimes see full gameplay of games in your YouTube recommended before it's even out. It's because these stores sell the game early. And for the most part, these channels find out when the embargo breaks for game reviews and know to only upload after that, so they don't get in trouble. Now, sadly, some people exploit that and show final bosses and endings in the thumbnails for tons of easy views, and that admittedly really sucks. But that's just kind of how YouTube is when it comes to these sort of things. So now you know everything about comp channels and how they work, but who's really watching them? I mean, the views sometimes get extremely high, but looking closer, it doesn't add up considering these videos don't usually have a lot of likes or comments. No disrespect to these channels, it's just really weird. And a lot of these videos have really inconsistent views too, which makes it even more strange. So that can only mean one thing, and it's 2 words long: YouTube Kids. That explains everything. If you look up anything about Mario or Mario Party or any Lego video games, compilation videos are what usually pop up first in search. So what's likely happening is kids look this stuff up when they hear about the game from a friend or see it somewhere else and probably binge watch it for hours on end. I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of kids watch these videos to help fall asleep. It is non-commentary after all and pretty soothing to listen to. And by the way, you can't leave a like or comment on this app, which explains why there's always a lack of engagement on the videos. This also explains why nobody really talks about these channels. For the most part, they're hidden from everywhere except on YouTube Kids. And that's how these channels do it. They brutally fight to be at the top of the algorithm by putting out content on new games as soon as possible and making the simplest yet strongest thumbnails that will attract kids the most. Comp channels are a really neat genre in the YouTube space. It's evolved into more than just randomly recording yourself play a video game. Now there's just so much more to it, and I hope you learned something new from this video. Once again, a big thank you to Master of Hyrule, YT Sunny, Typhlosion for President, and Nintendo Central for answering my questions. I've posted their channel links in the description if you feel so inclined to check out their content. And a big thank you to SwankyBox for helping me with research on this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.